Chuck and Pam here. Real Talk with Chuck and Pam, the podcast version. You can catch us on CBS 58 on Thursdays, as well as Little Old Me on Racine and Me once or twice a month on the CBS station as well. Chuck, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You know,
Yeah.
we've got a few movies to review this week. We're going to hold off on a couple things after the announcements for the Oscars. And everything is kind of in turmoil and chaos because of the wildfires in Los Angeles. Our hearts go out to everyone affected by that. It's not just the movie people, it's everybody who lives in that area, from janitors and bus drivers to Hollywood movie stars. Fires don't discriminate. So our hearts go out to everyone there. Everything is, our Critics' Choice Awards have been postponed, delayed, I'm not sure what. And I think everything else has been affected by that as well. But we're going to keep going here with movies that are being released. And I would love for you to go over Wolfman. Please go over Wolfman, because then I'm going to share my thoughts, and they're not pretty. They're about as ugly as his teeth falling out.
You know, and people who know me know that the Universal monster films are my favorite films of all time.
I think you have t-shirts, mugs, posters, and probably signed books, right?
Everything that could be had is had. Yes, yes. And here I'm actually on my desk here. I've got my little Funko Pops of the Bride of Frankenstein and the Invisible Man and the others are over there. So yes, the Universal monsters are part of my life. They always have been, and people look at me askance. But those movies were basically the gateway movies for me. Those are the movies I was first interested in as a kid.
Okay.
And then of course you expand into other things as far as movies are concerned. So these were the gateway for me, and they've always had a special part of my life. And another thing is because as I've gotten older, you look at them differently and you realize how deep they are, how many layers there are to these things. They're not just simple monster movies. They comment about our greatest fears. They comment about death. They comment about how we handle these things. And the characters are always sympathetic as well. That's the other thing that separates them from the slasher films that became popular over 50 years ago. So whenever you're going to dip your toe back into the waters of the Universal monster films, I and many other fans might be a little bit too critical. That being said, I was really disappointed with Lee Wannell's Wolfman. This is the guy who also did The Invisible Man a couple years ago. Everybody loved that one. I didn't understand that either as to why that was such a big hit. I think that Wannell's problem is, and this is the guy who did the Saw films and other horror films, when you are going to recreate, or when you say you're going to do a remake of one of these films, that comes with certain expectations.
Sure.
These titles, this franchise is weighted with history, weighted with certain requirements that fans expect. And he, with these two films, has gone very far afield of that. I understand what he's doing. He is trying to make them contemporary. He is trying to intersect reality and real life concerns with these supernatural elements, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that The Invisible Man and Wolfman now could have been made under completely separate titles without these expectations and been a bit more successful, because the concerns he's talking about, you could do without having an Invisible Man or a Wolfman. So I think that he paints himself into a corner by having these titles and the history about them and not addressing that. That being said, I did like the two central performances in Wolfman. Jennifer, no, it's not. What's her name?
Julia.
What?
Julia Garner.
Julia Garner. Yeah, I always want to say Jennifer Garner, and that's not right. Julia Garner and Christopher Abbott as a married couple who are definitely at the crossroads in their relationship. I thought they both did a very fine job. He plays a guy who has some trauma from his past. His father was, we get the impression his mother died early, His father was a former military man who runs his life as it were a military operation, very stern, very angry. And of course, Abbott's character inherits this, whether he wants to or not. And as we see him grow older and interact with his daughter that he has, we do see his anger emerging. We do see his frustration emerging. His name is Blake, by the way. And this is something that he inherits and doesn't want to inherit, but he has to deal with this. The marriage is at the crossroads, so they decide, or he suggests, hey, let's go up to Dad's old cabin. He has been missing and has now been declared dead. He has gotten ownership now of this remote cabin in Oregon. They shot the film in New Zealand, by the way.
I know. No, but did they superimpose Mount Hood in the background there? Because I swear I saw Mount Hood.
Yeah, of course, they could take stock shots of that, but then, they shot, most of it in New Zealand. And they're going to get away, them and the daughter, and going to start over. Well, this goes horribly bad right away because as they drive up in their rental truck, the name of which fans of the original Wolfman will understand, they get into an accident. They are attacked by some creature, and they get to the cabin to begin an incredibly long night. Wow, this is one long night. At about the hour point of this movie, it dawned on me, wow, this is just one night.
I know, that's what I thought too.
This has been going on forever. But no, this just takes place over the course of one night. And because Blake has been wounded, he starts to change. He doesn't have no idea what he's been wounded by, but there have been rumors of a creature that have lived in the Oregon woods for years, some mysterious thing that has been creeping around, and a myth, a violent big wolf, Bigfoot, if you will. He starts to change, and unfortunately, the film doesn't change. This is a slow movie. Man, this is a ponderously iceberg-like movie. This could have been done as a play, a 45-minute play.
It was only an hour and 43-minute film too, and that's including it felt so much longer.
And people talk about movies being too long. We've talked about that, and it doesn't have anything to do with the running time. It has to do what you do with the time. And like you say, it's only 100 minutes. This thing was interminable. It does not move. It just sits there. Now, that being said, I think they've got some important things there that they want to talk about, as far as how marriages fall apart, how communication falls apart, how you inherit things from your parents that you don't know how to deal with and you have to contend with, that there are the dark side that we all have and you have to keep it contained. All that stuff's there, but none of it's developed fully.
No.
And this was just a frustrating movie for me because, like I say, I like the two performances. I like the makeup. I like that it was all practical makeup. There's no CGI. They do their own thing. I mean, it's not the traditional Wolfman. You don't want to do that. You want to do something different. It all made sense to me. Sympathetic, get it? But man, I just didn't care.
Oh, I didn't either. I did not either. I was bored to tears. And as I'm sitting in the seat, I was thinking the same thing. Okay, so I had the huge movie theater all to myself. Thank God I didn't drive downtown for the critics screening of this. I would have been pissed. So I've got this huge theater all to myself. And I'm thinking, oh my God, are we going to just stay in this one night? Is all of this just going to happen over one night? Really? And they did not. You were absolutely right. They did not develop anything about any of the characters. And talk about the stupidity of some of the dialogue. The directing, I didn't think was what it needed to be. I mean, you've got two seasoned actors here between Garner and Abbott. And I was disappointed in some of the dialogue and interaction that took place because I know they can do better than that. The makeup was great. That was cool. That was the saving grace, if there even is one, for this. I think there just needed to be a silver bullet and put everybody out of their misery. I was bored to tears. So many different situations where it was just stupid. Like, why are you turning your back? Why did you leave your daughter upstairs? Why, this daughter better have some kind of an impact on the ending of this movie, or I'm going to be pissed that they even put a kid in this because it was ridiculous.
Mhm.
It does have an impact. So I was okay with that. Um, I'm not a big horror movie fan like you are, but if they're smart, I like them. And I typically like Blumhouse productions. They tend to be, in my mind, a little bit more elevated with balancing some humor as well as the jump scares. And then you laugh at yourself because you jumped at those.
And they tend to be smart too.
And they tend to be smart. This was none of those things. And I was extremely disappointed in Blumhouse. I was disappointed in the whole thing. I couldn't wait for it to end.
And I hate doing this because I love these movies. I would love to see new, inventive, smart versions of these characters. This is not it.
Yeah, yeah. It was one tone all the way through. It was one thing all the way through. We watched him change. We watched him change, and we watched chase scenes. I felt like I felt like it was like this sophomoric approach to a horror movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Too bad.
All right, so we've chewed on that long enough. Just see what I did there.
I will say that one scene that involves chewing was fantastic.
I had to look away.
That was great, man. I was like, oh, this is what we need. But
Oh,
that was,
oh no, that was a bit much for me.
I figured it was. Yeah.
We also have a movie that's finally come out called Unstoppable. That is based on a true story, and it was a beautiful story. I love these kinds of movies, just like The Fire Inside from December, just a month ago. We now have Unstoppable about a young man who's got a lot of challenges, some of which are physical. He is born with one leg, it's a congenital anomaly. He does not let that stop him. Thus, the title of the movie. He's also, his mother has remarried this guy played by, I think his name is Rick, played by Bobby Cannavale. He's abusive. He's got some other children with Jennifer Lopez, who plays his mother, Judy. And it's a volatile home life. It's really kind of tragic and abusive. But uh, we've got, sorry, the character's name is Anthony Robles, and Jarrell Jerome plays this character, and he finds wrestling to be his saving grace. Um, he becomes a champion, and he also wants to be able to escape this horrible home life, and he finds that he can get a scholarship to travel halfway across the country, but he decides to stay home because his mother is in this bad situation and he can't leave her. They're a team, they need to protect one another. He ends up trying to walk on to the Arizona State University team under the tutelage of Coach Sean Charles, played by Don Cheadle. Now we've got two coaches. The first coach was Coach Bobby Williams in high school, played by Michael Pena beautifully. And it just shows you this shows you that when you have somebody who can give you that support and guidance, you need one person in your life to help you succeed. And these two coaches are the reason that Anthony Robles was able to succeed. It is an uplifting and inspiring story. Performances were incredible. I loved the cinematography and the editing. And the reason why I say that is because the real Anthony Robles, who does not have a leg, subbed in to do the wrestling. So we were able to really feel like we were watching Anthony Robles wrestle. One of the standout scenes in this, and I'd like to call attention to some of those in these types of movies, is his teammates' reaction. That was just so beautiful. It brings tears to my eyes thinking about it. And it gives me hope that maybe our world isn't lost. Maybe there is some humanity left in this world. I think anybody who coaches kids, I think any teenagers, there are some tough issues that are discussed in this. I don't think it's meant for little ones. But I think if you've got teens and you're a coach or you play sports, go see this movie. Have some of those tough discussions. Talk about lifting other people up. So go see it.
Yeah, and you don't have to go. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, this is true. This is true. Go to your living room and see it.
These sports movies are a dime a dozen. And it's really rough to come up with something that breaks the formula or still makes the formula work.
Right.
This movie really got to me. I mean, this kid, Jesus, God, how can you not be inspired by him?
Right.
And Darrell Jerome does a fabulous job in this role. You know, you talk about reactions of the teammates. The thing that got to me is Cheadle. Cheadle is very stoic. He does not want to be won over by this kid. And you see him gradually, slowly break down. Not crying, but break down his preconceptions of this kid and comes to accept him. And his reactions throughout got to me because I'm like, man, this guy did not want to have anything to do with him. And he wins him over. And
Yeah.
my God. And, you know, and again, when you've got anything with Michael Pena or Cheadle, I'm there. I'm
Right.
there.
Yeah.
They bring a gravity, they bring a credence to anything they do. And I think you and I talked about this. When you like a movie that has Jennifer Lopez in it, that's saying something. And she does a good job here when she's not all about herself and is in not one of those look at me roles. She's very effective. And she was really good here as the mom.
She was fine as the mom. She didn't get in the way of herself. And
Very good. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah, because she can definitely overshadow things as we have seen her in real life. And she does a fine job. I wouldn't say she does a great job, but she does a fine job.
But yeah, this is one for the family. I know you're saying, you know, maybe not the younger kids, but a lot of great discussions here. And you're right. We need reminders like this now more than ever of of this
Compassion.
type of behavior. Compassion. Thank you. That yeah, I need to be reminded that this exists, and this
Yeah.
is a great example.
Yeah, I agree. So check that out. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So Chucky, do tell, back in action. Cameron Diaz is back in action. So
I didn't realize I missed Cameron Diaz until I watched Back in Action.
oh,
I, I forgot how much I like her.
good.
I like her. I'm like, yeah, she's all right for, you know. I wish she had come back in a better movie, you know, but I was like, yeah, I missed her. And then I went back and I looked at all the other movies she had been in that I'd seen. Like, yeah, I always enjoyed her. And this, you know, do you remember that movie from last year with Mark Wahlberg called The Family Plan?
Yep.
Yeah, where he was a spy, but now he's got a family and he's living in the suburbs, but now he's got to be a spy again. I wonder if the guys who wrote that can sue the people who did that. This is the same story.
The only difference is that the other spouse is also a spy. That is the
Right.
only difference in this. I thought the same thing. That's what I wrote in my review, actually.
Exact, me too. I mean, she's in on it. That's the only difference in this thing. But yeah, I mean, I find movies like this the hardest ones to write about because they've been done so often, because it's just a mechanical exercise. How can you be critical about something like that when it's like, okay, well, we're doing this again?
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I find these ones the harder ones to write about.
They are difficult because there really isn't a whole lot to them. And
Yeah.
I texted you, this is a throwaway movie, but
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
it's fun to watch a throwaway movie. I had fun watching it. Will I watch it again? Probably not.
Well,
Um,
you're right. They can be fun, and I think movies like this depend on whether you enjoy the performers.
right.
And so it's Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz. They were spies. They retire because they want to have a family. They're found out. Their enemies come after them. They've got to go to London to get the thing that'll help them get out of this. Blah 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 blah. That's the movie. But you know, I kept hoping that they were in a better movie. I'd love to see Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz and the two kids in a better movie because their interactions I thought were great. You know,
The
there's
kids were really good.
kids were really good, you know, and
I
they're
mean, surprisingly so, you know?
yeah, a lot of time that proves to be the downfall of movies like this. But the two kids, the teenage girl Alice, played by McKenna Roberts, and the boy Leo, played by Ryland Jackson. I got the impression these four were family.
I know. I completely
You
agree
know,
with you. Yes.
and I'm like, man, I wish they were in a better movie because I really enjoyed all of them.
I liked the family plan better than this one.
Me too.
I was more entertained. I think I laughed more during the family plan than I did
Yes,
with.
it's a funnier film. Although
However,
I did laugh at Glenn Close is in it as Cameron Diaz's mom, a former spy, and she's got a much younger boyfriend, Nigel, played by a guy I'm not aware of. His name is Jamie Demetru. This guy wants to be a spy in the worst way. Think of Barney Fife as an MI6 agent, and you've got it. This guy killed me every time he was on the screen. He was funny.
he was very funny, and his comedic timing was great, and he with Glenn Close was great. When they introduced Glenn Close into the movie halfway through, that's I needed that breath of fresh air. She was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
The only other person that might have been a little bit more humorous to play that part would be Judi Dench.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
But,
and even I almost want her character and the boyfriend Nigel. I almost want them to have a movie by themselves too. You know?
and I think they could. I think they could. I recognized the guy that played Nigel in Fleabag. He was in that was a
Oh,
favorite.
I've never seen that show. Okay.
It's fun. It's a fun series. I was so sad that it didn't get renewed. But yeah, it's a throwaway. It's a popcorn movie. It's a
Definitely.
watch it tonight. You'll have fun with it, and then you
It's
won't remember it. It's
it's
okay.
the type of movie that if I'm working on my computer, I have on in the background.
Okay.
And I
Yep.
look up at every once in a while. Okay, that was interesting. Oh, that was funny. But yeah, Kyle Chandler wasted again.
Oh, I know. Poor Kyle.
And I know you can't wait for this.
Hmm.
So Kyle's next big project is,
What?
he's going to be the Green Lantern. Oh, yeah, I wish you, make sure that everyone freeze frame is Pam's expression on that one. Pam's love of superheroes. But let me pitch this. Okay, Green Lantern. What do you know about the Green Lantern?
I don't know. He's like a bug.
No, that's Blue Beetle.
Oh, all right. I don't know. It wasn't Ryan Reynolds in some Green Lantern movie.
Yes, he has a ring, and whatever you imagine, you do with the ring. Okay.
Okay.
So in the comic book, there's more than one Green Lantern. It's a Green Lantern Corps. There's many Green Lanterns.
It's a light festival.
Exactly. And this is going to be an HBO show or Max show called Lanterns. And Kyle Chandler is going to play Hal Jordan, the older Lantern. He has a partner now, John Stewart, who is a younger Lantern. It's going to be like
A little lantern.
Men in Black thing.
Okay.
The older guy teaching the younger guy the ropes, and they involved in some sort of. Now, here, I want you to look this up. This is going to get your interest.
Okay.
The young lantern, I want you to look up here, Aaron Pierre,
Aaron Pierre. Got him.
Pierre. You are going to want to watch this show.
I
Uh,
think.
there's another expression for us to look at.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
watching
so
between Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. I'm in,
you're
man.
there.
I am
Right.
in.
Yeah, I told you. So, yeah, Lanterns is part of James Gunn's reboot of the DC universe. It starts on Max. Hopefully, this has been pushed back a lot. And Aaron Pierre is 6'3", by the way. Hopefully, later this year. Really kind of looking forward to it. In addition to those two, it also has Kelly MacDonald, the great Irish actress who I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
So, there's some possibilities there.
There definitely are. Well, cool. Thank you for alerting me to that because I would not have tuned in. Kyle Chandler is one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
He was in Manchester by the Sea,
Yep.
a very understated movie that first time I watched it, I was like, okay, that was good. Second time I watched it, I'm like, why didn't I think this was great? Because this is great. And he's from Buffalo, and I like that.
And Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Oh, that's a classic. Definitely a classic.
And
And
I showed that original movie to my class here a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
My God, I forgot how good it was.
right?
Jesus, great
It's
movie. What?
timeless.
It is time. It's another one of those sports movies that's not about sports, it's about life. And one of the few examples where they transitioned that to a TV show that was just as good.
Yeah. I haven't
I
seen
I hear they're trying to reboot it.
Okay. There is a TV show that I want to alert everyone to that is released today on Apple TV Plus, and that is Severance Season 2. Season 2 picks up right where Season 1 left off. So check it out. It's streaming beginning today. I think they're just dropping the first episode.
Have you watched it?
I have.
Okay. So do I need to get over my anger of having to have waited 3 years?
I think what you need to do is to go back and watch the last 2 episodes to refresh
Okay.
because I should have done that. And for the first episode, I'm like, whoa, wait, whoa, what? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was going to go back and watch the last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would recommend doing at least the last episode, maybe the last 2 episodes, just to get yourself back up to speed. And then, yes, get over your anger with this one. It did take a long time. And it's worth it because it gets really trippy.
Okay, because I really liked it. But I was like, come on. I know there was a COVID thing in there, but still, it was ridiculous that we had to wait that long.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, but it's worth the wait. Love
Okay.
these
All
characters,
right.
love their development. I can't
I'll
tell
let-
you because they'll be sued for breaking something. So watch it.
Yeah. You know, a show I'm watching on HBO on Max now is a show called Bookie.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It had already had a season. The second season started on Thursday. 8 episodes per season. Each episode's less than a half hour. It's about 2 bookies in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Sebastian Maniscalco, the stand-up comic.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh my God, I love him. I just got turned on to him in Nashville.
Yeah, watch this show. I was laughing my ass off.
I can't wait to watch
Oh.
this. What is it on? Bookie's on
Max.
Max. Okay.
And like I say, each episode's less than 30 minutes. I got caught up with the first season in 2 nights. I am just laughing my ass off at this thing. It is so, so good. I can't wait to jump into the second season. And Max drops the entire season there, so you can just breeze through it if you want. But yeah, give this one a shot. I'd be anxious to hear what you say. It is really good.
I can't wait. And I can't wait to share this with my friend Lori, who turned me on to this, to me, unknown comic. I can't wait to share this. Cool. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah, check it out. That's why we're here.
That's right. All right.
All
Check
right.
out realtalkwithchuckandpam.com, REEL, talkwithchuckandpam.com. I had an interview with Lucy Liu yesterday that'll be posted next week for the movie Presence, which releases next week as well. You can find all our interviews, our reviews on realtalkwithchuckandpam.com, our one-stop shop to get to everything we do. TV, podcast, Instagram, I don't know, everything.
Everything. And make sure to come back next week. We're going to have a lot to talk about with new releases and Oscar stuff.
Cool. Good deal. Cheers. Thanks, Chuck.
You bet.